Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is something that I've never done before and I'm so excited for this because if you've been feeling stuck manifesting and you've been kind of feeling in a rut, you feel like you've not been getting results, stay tuned because today I'm doing something I've never done before. If you're ready to glow up, to become your most magnetic self, to manifest your wildest dreams, I mean everything on your vision board, everything in your journal coming true, you're going to want to watch this video until the very end. So what we're doing today is I'm doing a compilation of my most popular manifestation videos so you can binge watch them, because today we are collapsing time around what gets to be possible for you. You're going to manifest your wildest dreams, but it isn't just enough to watch these videos. You actually need to take action on them. Jesus said, be doers of the word, not hearers. And I promise you, if you apply these techniques, your life will be forever changed. This is how I manifested my dream life. I've literally manifested everything on my vision board, and these videos will tell you exactly how. I'm also recommending you listen to this meditation right here, the Lucky Syndrome meditation, where I speak directly to your subconscious mind. Like, people who have listened to this meditation tell me that they have had the most amazing results. One of my clients listened to this meditation and booked a new client for her business literally immediately after. Because the thing is, I don't just apply surface level manifestation techniques. Affirmations, vision board, scripting, they're all good, but I go deeper. I call this holistic manifestation because I look at everything in your life that can get in the way of you allowing and receiving what it is that you desire. That means your upbringing, your psychological programming. I have a degree in psychology, so I go deep into neuroscience, reprogramming your brain. A lot of people in the manifestation community, they get surface level, it's what I call surface level results. A text from your crush, a parking spot here and there, $1,000 here and there. The people that I'm speaking to want more out of life. You want a booming business that is making multiple 6 to 7 figures, even 8 figures a year. My clients are lawyers. They're working in the corporate world. We have healers, we have mentors, we have coaches, and just the most amazing people that I keep attracting into my container. One of our clients is doing corporate acupuncture, where she's bringing acupuncture to big corporations, like in the office when you're having neck pain and all those things. Like, we are literally changing the world. We are here to create a new world, and I'm so proud of every single one of you and every person that steps into my world. What I share on YouTube is just the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg, okay? And I produce videos, I'm gonna be very honest, sometimes I make very passionate videos, like the ones with the spooky too, the rifing, the healing. They barely get any views. This is my job. I have to make videos based on what is popular. And I know if I'm going to start talking about human design and certain things or somatic experiencing, like, they are extremely powerful. They're going to change your life, but they're not as popular on YouTube. Here on YouTube, I can only go so deep and so far in a YouTube video. So you're only seeing the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. The whole subconscious part we address inside my Glow Up membership. I have 30 plus masterclasses available, all on subconscious rewiring, neuroscience, somatic experiencing, nervous system regulation. Hello, this is so important. If you don't feel safe receiving a big goal, you'll push it away unconsciously. You can network with people in there. So if you've been feeling like you've been hitting a wall with manifestation and sort of feeling stuck, I highly recommend the Glow Up portal. We've had lawyers inside, healers, coaches, mentors, entrepreneurs, just the most amazing powerhouse women. So if you want to be in a high vibe community, I will link these down below. One last thing before we get into the compilation. So I'm just going to add one video after another. Let me know which one is your favorite down below. Share this with someone who needs it. Let's all manifest a better world together. It starts with us. You have to take personal responsibility for your own well-being. And one thing I wanted to share is I feel like it's been forever since I've been in front of the camera, but honestly, last year around fall, I started to feel really burnt out. Last year, I was in a year 4 in numerology which is actually a year of hard work. And while I love my work, it never feels like I'm actually working. I realized at the end of the year, like it just like hit me like a brick. And I went to the Joe Dispenza retreat in Cancun in December of last year, but that time there wasn't enough for me to fully recover. I ended up taking almost the entire winter sort of off, and by mean off is I was still working, but I was resting so much. And the reason I'm doing this compilation today as well is sometimes like we go through deep, intense personal things. I lost Nero last year. I just needed some time to process the loss. I feel like we live in a world where we constantly have to produce, and we're constantly setting the standard so high for ourselves. But it's like we're like, the way I like to describe it is we are nature. We are nature, and we don't expect the flowers to bloom all year long. We know that it's perfectly normal that in winter the flowers stop blooming, the leaves fall off the trees, and yet we think of ourselves that we have to constantly be producing, constantly be on. I was like, no, like I'm not doing that anymore. I'm honoring my body. As a 35-year-old woman who has struggled with an autoimmune illness and burnout in her late 20s, I want to do everything to optimize my body for perfect health. Stress is a huge factor in that. So I've been doing this over a decade. Every single week I upload a video for free. And what really hurt me lately is that obviously the online world has changed a lot, and I'm a highly sensitive person. Lately it's been really hard for me to come online and to see all the hate that is being spread everywhere. It's like everywhere, or they just come on my channel to take and take, and I'm not available for that anymore. That's like you wouldn't let someone come into your home with dirty shoes on and walk all over your couch, and like you wouldn't let that pass, right? This is my channel, this is my space, and all I ask is that people be respectful. Normal human decency and respect, because those people would never say this to your face. And without further ado, let's get into this manifestation dream life glow up compilation. Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to give you all the tools on how to manifest your dream life by the end of this year. Is it possible? Absolutely. When I did these manifestation techniques that I'm about to share with you in this video, my entire life changed in a matter of 3 months completely. My career took off. I moved into my dream house and I found love all in a matter of 3 months. So this is super powerful, and by the end of this video you're going to know how to do this for yourself. So stay tuned until the end of this video to find out how. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. It helps the channel a lot. Okay, so the first thing that I want to share that keeps people absolutely stuck in their reality and that actually keeps them from manifesting their dreams is the belief that they are stuck. Now, our beliefs create our reality, and if you believe that you are stuck and that you can't manifest and that you have, things have been this way for years and why would it change now? If you have that belief, then of course the universe, honoring your free will, is not going to give you your manifestation. If you right now were to have your memory erased, completely erased, so you have a clean slate, blank slate, as if you were just a baby being born into this world, you would have zero limiting beliefs. You would have zero thoughts that it couldn't happen, and you would believe that anything is possible. So pay close attention to what you have been assuming about your reality. Are you assuming that you are stuck? Because if you are, that manifestation isn't working for you, because if you are assuming that that's what you're going to get. Now, one technique that I was doing before my life completely changed and before I manifested my dream life, I went all in on myself and I did this experiment with life. I love doing little experiments with life. So I decided to commit to meditating and visualizing 1 hour every evening. So I would just lay down in my room. At the time I was still living in my apartment. I was committed 5 days a week. I gave myself a break on the weekends. 5 days a week I was just visualizing, putting on my headphones, putting on inspirational music, and living my dream life in my imagination. I traveled, I spent time with the love of my life, I lived in my dream home, and I was just doing these things, and I got completely wrapped up around it. It's like Tony Robbins, I heard him say at an event once, when it comes to visualizing, he's like, just do it for 20 minutes. He tells himself that he's just going to do it for like 15 or 20 minutes, but often he ends up doing it for an hour because he's having just so much fun. That is the key. Have fun with it. If it feels like a chore to you, don't do it. You want to have fun and you want to imply all of your 5 senses while doing it. Now, what I was doing 7 years ago was, before I'd ever heard about Neville Goddard and states akin to sleep and the ladder exercise, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, I was actually doing sats without consciously knowing what I was really doing, but I just knew that it worked. And also I didn't put I was in no hurry to get my manifestation. I was completely detached from the outcome. I made a video on how to detach it. I'm going to put it right here. That is really, really important as well. You want to detach from the outcome. And so what is the ladder exercise? So Neville Goddard, when he was teaching at the Wilshire Evil Theatre, he was teaching his students for every night, for 3 consecutive nights, to visualize climbing a ladder. Now, we do this on my channel with roses. I'm going to get into that in a minute. So he would tell people to visualize climbing a ladder and really imply all your 5 senses. And then during the day, you were to tell yourself, I will not climb a ladder today. I will not climb a ladder today. I will not climb a ladder today. And that was to prove that when you impress your subconscious mind before sleep, right, while you're in that kind of alpha theta state of relaxation and doing it before sleep, that's when you most impress your subconscious mind. Most people did this for like 3 consecutive nights, and all of a sudden, a week later or so, they found themselves climbing a ladder, even though they had said during the day that they would not climb a ladder. And so this was his way to prove that whatever you impress into your subconscious mind right before sleep has to show up in your outer reality, because it is law. Our subconscious mind rules 95% of our reality. Whatever you plant into the subconscious, this is even in the Bible. These are biblical principles that we're talking about, guys. Whatever you plant into your subconscious will prove to come to fruition. It's like seeds that you're planting, right? That are going to show up in your outer reality, in your hologram. And what he was saying to his audience was, you just did that with a ladder. You very well could have done the exact same exercise with $1 million. And back then, I believe that was in the 40s and 50s that he was teaching that. $1 million back then was more like $10 million today. Because your subconscious mind always listens, it never rests. And so even getting the most unrealistic in your imagination, it's your imagination. Have fun, be unrealistic, do the most crazy things, because that is what is going to show up in your reality. I was traveling the entire world in my mind before I was actually traveling the entire world. And those months where I was visualizing every night, the 2 years following, were the years that I traveled the most in my entire life. And to give you a little bit of confidence right now, let's do the rose exercise, because we haven't done this on the channel for a while, and I just love this rose exercise. People still message me today about the roses. Okay, so take a deep breath in, exhale, let all tension go, tap into your heart space. Your heart is 5,000 times more powerful, magnetically speaking, than your brain. So as you tap into your heart, you manifest a lot faster. And I want you to visualize a beautiful bouquet of flowers. See them in your mind, smell them, touch them. What do the petals feel like? What are the colors that you are seeing? What types of flowers are there? And really get very detailed with this. Really feel the flowers in your hands and the smell. And project that reality right now through your heart outwards, with the intention that you're projecting that from your heart into your hologram. This is a very advanced technique that my guides have taught me, to project things with your heart, because your heart is a hologram. And you can open up your eyes again and message me when you have manifested your beautiful flowers. So this, my loves, is how you're absolutely going to manifest your dream life by the end of 2024. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. You can resolve any problem that you have with this method, any doubts that you're having, any fears, body like health problems, whatever it is that you want. If you want a new house, if you want a new car, if you want just to get out of depression, be happy and healthy, whatever it is that you want, this is how you're going to get it. It is law. It cannot fail. It cannot be any other way. Whatever is impressed in your subconscious mind produces in your outer reality. What if you could impress your subconscious to manifest anything that you desire in 3 days? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in today's video, so keep on watching. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I wanted to say a huge thank you. We just hit 600,000 subscribers. I can't even imagine what 600,000 people gathered together looks like. So I wanted to thank every single one of you for being here, whether you have been with me from the start or have just recently joined. I love you so much. I still remember the days when this just seemed so far off and so impossible, and so like, how the frick will this ever happen? And here we are. Just a little note to never give up on your dreams, because they will happen, whether it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, a decade, whatever, it is going to happen. Also, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell right next to it so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Give this video a like right now. Seriously, I'm just gonna wait for you to like this video, okay? It helps this knowledge to get out to more people. Also, if you've been loving my videos and you want to be part of a community where I go much more in depth about manifestation, nervous system work, subconscious reprogramming, Limitless is the best place where you could be on the internet, okay? Because we talk about so many things. We have a book club. It's our community. It's amazing. I will link it down below. Every month I release a new masterclass. We have live calls in there where you can get coached by me. If you want to be cracked open to receive all of your deepest desires and release any resistance that you have, I will link Limitless down below. I also have a special discount code for you guys, so check that out in the description box. And let's jump right into the video. So the reason I titled this video Manifest in 3 days or less is because it has worked for me so many times, and literally for me, oftentimes it just works in 24 hours, like literally the next day. If you manage to do this in the correct way, it will happen. This was what Neville Goddard has taught his people with the ladder exercise. So if you don't know about this, he basically in the Wilshire Ebel Theater, he taught, when he was giving his seminars, he taught the people that were watching to fall asleep in the assumption, right? To fall asleep with the wish fulfilled. Why? why are we doing this during sleep? Because during sleep, your subconscious is wide open. And let me tell you something about the subconscious. We all know this, okay? This is nothing new, but your subconscious mind cannot help. Your subconscious mind has to prove in your outer circumstances, in your reality, whatever gets planted in it, okay? It will bring about whatever it gets. It is a law. It cannot fail. It cannot be any other way. Whatever is impressed in your subconscious mind produces in your outer reality. So what Neville Goddard did was he made people visualize climbing a ladder, the ladder exercise. So they basically had to envision themselves climbing a ladder with all their physical senses before going to sleep. What he then did is he asked them to, even during the day, say, I will not climb a ladder today. I will not climb a ladder today. I will not climb a ladder today. Which is so funny because even though they were saying these affirmations that I will not climb a ladder, they still ended up climbing a ladder because they had impressed their subconscious mind with climbing a ladder. And most of them didn't even realize it until they were at the top of the ladder or halfway up, and they were like, oh my gosh, I'm actually climbing a ladder right now. And his reasoning was, you just did this with a ladder. You could have done the exact same thing with $1 million. So this is so powerful. Whenever I need like a quick fix or a quick change in something, this is what I do, except I do it a little differently than Neville Goddard. I add something to make it more powerful. I'm going to share this with you in a second. First, I've been reading one of my favorite books again. I started reading this like over 10 years ago when I was like in my early 20s. That's the first time that I read The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, and I love rereading certain books because they're just, every time you reread them, there's like something new that you find in the book. He actually talks about the exact same thing that Neville Goddard talked about. I'm pretty sure he knew about Neville Goddard. And here's the key to making this powerful, because I know a lot of people are like, it didn't work for me. That's okay. Some of the things that I did at night, you know, like states akin to sleep, happened like 9 months later, but they still happened to the very detail that I did it. Most of them happen in less than 3 days for me. So just don't give up. Even if it doesn't happen, don't give up. So here's what, I'm just going to read this here. Here's what Joseph Murphy says. Joseph Murphy in his book says, never try to compel the subconscious mind to accept your idea by exercising willpower. Such attempts are doomed to failure and you get the opposite of what you prayed for. Because I had a lot of questions on my channel. It's like, oh, I'm trying to manifest something and I'm manifesting the exact opposite. It's probably because you're trying too hard. And then you create resistance, and that resistance create the opposite of what you want. Such attempts are doomed to failure and you get the opposite of what you pray for. The following is a rather common experience. Students, when taking examinations and reading through their papers, find that all their knowledge has suddenly deserted them. Their minds become appalling blanks and they are unable to recall one relevant thought. The more they grit their teeth and summon the powers of the will, the further the answers seem to flee. But when they have left the examination room and the mental pressure relaxes, the answers they were seeking flow tantalizingly back into their minds. Trying to force themselves to remember was the cause of their failure. This is an example of the law of reverse effort, whereby you get the opposite of what you asked or prayed for, okay? This is crucial. The conflict of desire and imagination must be reconciled. Matthew 18:19 says, if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them. Who are these two? It means the harmonious union or agreement between your conscious and subconscious on any idea, desire, or mental image. Okay, this is so powerful. This is crucial. He then goes on to say that you avoid all conflict between your desires and imagination by entering into a drowsy, sleepy state, which brings all effort to a minimum. States akin to sleep, SATs. We all know what SATs are. The conscious mind is submerged to a great extent when in a sleepy state. This is why hypnosis is so effective, and people have been able to stop addictions with hypnosis. You're in a theta state with your brain, and that doorway to the subconscious is wide open. There's no longer like when we are in beta, like right now I'm probably in beta because I'm making this video, I'm like concentrating. When we're in beta, are like the gateway, that door is closed. But when we're in delta sleep, theta, and those hypnagogic and hypnopompic states akin to sleep, that's where your subconscious mind is wide open, and that's why it's so powerful, because our subconscious mind pulls 95% of our reality. Okay, so I don't want to make this video too long, but what he says is the best time to impregnate your subconscious is prior to sleep. The reason for this is that the highest degree of outcropping of the subconscious occurs prior to sleep and just after we awaken. In this state, the negative thoughts and imagery which tend to neutralize your desire and so prevent acceptance by your subconscious mind no longer present themselves. When you imagine the reality of the fulfilled desire and feel the thrill of accomplishment, your subconscious brings about the realization of your desire. So it wasn't just Neville Goddard that talked about this. The Bible talks about it. Joseph Murphy talks about it. All the teachers of the ages talked about this. Lastly, here's a success story of this method. The following will clearly illustrate how a young girl overcame the conflict between her desire and her imagination. She desired a harmonious solution to her legal problem, yet her mental imagery was constantly on failure, loss, bankruptcy, and poverty. It was a complicated lawsuit, and there was one postponement after another with no solution in sight. At my suggestion, she got into a sleepy, drowsy state each night prior to sleep, and she began to imagine the happy ending, feeling it to the best of her ability. She knew that the image in her mind had to agree with her heart's desire. Prior to sleep, she began to dramatize as vividly as possible, her lawyer having an animated discussion with her regarding the outcome. She would ask him questions, and he would answer her appropriately. He would say to her over and over again, "There has been a perfect harmonious solution. The case has been settled out of court." This is so important because she was living in the end. She was imagining the end. And during the day, when fear thoughts came into her mind, she would run her mental movie with gestures, voice, and sound equipment. She could easily imagine the sound of his voice, smile, and mannerism. She ran this mental picture so often it became a subjective pattern, a regular train track. At the end, her attorney called her and confirmed objectively what she had been imagining and feeling as true subjectively. So when I tell you, you can resolve any problem that you have with this method, any doubts that you're having, any fears, body, like health problems, like whatever it is that you want. If you want a new house, if you want a new car, if you want just to get out of depression, be happy and healthy, be more fulfilled in your career, in your relationships, like whatever it is that you want, this is how you're going to get it. So this is my exact method. You can steal my exact manifestation blueprint right now. This is how I do it, to do it in less than 3 days. What I would do is I would go into a state akin to sleep. I would visualize whatever it is that I wanted, and I would imply all my 5 senses. If you go into the meditations that we do on this channel, where we imply all of our 5 senses, people get results in literally 24 hours. Like, it's not even like 3 days. So I have like a cat hair and it's like really itching me. I apply all 5 senses. How does it feel? How does it taste? Well, taste is not always applicable. Apply whatever is best for you. How does it taste? What smells are in the air? What are you feeling on your skin? Where are you? Like, where are your surroundings? What are you seeing? And what are you hearing around you? Make it as vivid as possible, and don't force it. Don't use willpower. Just use whatever is easiest for you, okay? If certain things don't come easy to you, don't use it. Just use whatever is easiest for you. Live in the end. What scene would imply that this would have already happened, okay? So you're going to imagine this every time that you go to sleep. If you fall asleep fast, go into a position like you can either sit up in your bed right before you sleep, or get into a position where you just wouldn't fall asleep easily. I suggest doing this. Honestly, I never did it for more than 10 minutes. You can do it longer, but I would say 5 to 10 minutes. And then the only thing then what I do differently from, what Neville Goddard says is, during the day, I use affirmations that also imply what it is that I want. So in this, Neville Goddard said, to prove his point, he was like, just use the opposite affirmation and it will still happen. But we want to maximize our manifestation powers for this to happen. So you're going to start affirming as if it had already happened. So whatever that is for you, if that is, I'm so happy that I live in my dream home now. I'm so happy that this deal went through. I'm so grateful and happy. Oh my God, it's finally happening for me. It's finally here. I'm so happy. This was so easy. I manifest so easily. Everything literally always works out for me. You can also become more specific. I'm kind of like using more general statements because I don't know exactly what your situation is, but you can be very specific for this. You can even have conversations in your mind as this woman had with her lawyer. Just start having conversations in your mind, because your mental diet is what will reflect into your reality, okay? So this is how you manifest in less than 3 days. Let me know in the comments below how it goes for you. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. When I started doing these things shifted so fast. It was almost like spooky. If you follow the steps that I'm giving you in today's video, I promise you, your life will completely change, and it can happen in weeks. So keep on listening to the very end to find out how. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the channel, and we have Olaf joining us here today, making a special guest appearance. So today I wanted to talk about how you can manifest your dream life in 2025. No more playing around, no more trying to manifest things. This is the year where you are going to manifest your wildest dreams, and I'm going to share with you my biggest tips on how to do that step by step. Oh my gosh, what a show off. You can do this step by step. These are easy tips to follow. They are very simple, but you have to put in the inner work. So let's get started. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps me make more videos for you guys. And so let's get straight into it. I'm going to tell you what I did to manifest my dream life. And I kid you not, when I started doing these things shifted so fast. It was almost like spooky. This is what I always say, like, it doesn't have to take long. Like, yes, certain things take longer than others. There's been things on my vision board that took 10 years to manifest, literally, and there's been things on my vision board that manifested literally in weeks. I kid you not. So things can change and shift very quickly for you. And this brings me to my first point. What is the idea in your head that you've been creating out of nowhere as to how long it will take for your manifestation to arrive? Because sometimes we can put these invisible barriers where we think, because it's like a bigger manifestation, like say a house or spouse, it's gonna take longer. When in actuality, like, time in the higher realms doesn't exist. We only have, like, yes, we perceive time as linear, and we have linear time here because, I mean, how else would you schedule a doctor's appointment if you can't even be like, okay, I'm gonna be here, you know, Friday the 21st at 2 p.m. So in some way, we have used time to help us, you know, stay organized in this third dimensional reality. But in reality, time actually doesn't exist. If you look at people who have had near-death experiences, when they went to the other side, anything they thought literally materialized in front of them. And I've had that in dreams as well. When I've had lucid dreams, the minute I thought of something, I was there. The minute I wanted something, it appeared. And so this is how it goes with the higher realms. Like, whatever you ask, it is yours. Whatever you ask, it is yours. The problem is we have these preconceived notions as to how something will appear in our life, and we literally put limitations on God / the universe. So what I like to do is I like to take inventory of my limiting beliefs, and I ask myself, okay, what have I been believing about how fast this can come in? Really look at your beliefs. Take a good look at them. The next one is shared a lot everywhere, but I have to hammer this into your brain because it is so important. And that is, stop checking the 3D. Just stop waiting for it, stop looking for it, because the very energy of looking for it implies that it's not here yet. If you were living your dream life, guess what you would be doing? You would just be living your dream life. You wouldn't check for it because it would already be here. And I know this is a hard thing to do because it's like ordering something from Amazon and like checking if it has been shipped like 5 minutes after you ordered it. That's what we tend to do with our manifestations. But I make a pact with yourself to tell yourself every time you are tempted to check on a 3D, instead of doing that, actually start tapping into the feeling of it already being here. How would you feel if your dream life would be your reality right now? Because again, time doesn't exist. How would you feel? How would you feel right now? Okay? Stop checking the 3D. The world is your mirror. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you want to fix your hair, you're not going to fix your hair in the mirror. You are not going to touch the mirror. That would be ridiculous. You are first going to fix your hair, and then the mirror will reflect that change. So in the same way, you want to fix your internal state first, and your outer reality will reflect that back to you. And this brings me to my next tip, is to stop doing so much and start being. You do not need to write your manifestation 90 times, 6 times a day for 3 days on a paper for it to manifest. Like, let's just be real here. All you need to do is to be it now. Who would you be if your dream life had already manifested? What would he or she think? How would your day-to-day life be? How would you feel? What would people tell you? You can literally have conversations in your mind about, like, with your family and your friends, like, what would they tell you? What would they congratulate you on? What's the feeling of this having already happened? Would you be worried? No. Would you be checking the 3D? No. It would just feel normal. I always say stop putting your manifestation on a pedestal, because your life's not, you're not going to magically wake up one day and live in this fairy tale world. It will just feel normal. Like, when I manifested my dream life and my dream home, I'm not a different person now than I was then. Like, I am still me, and this feels very normal. I upgraded my reality, but it's just normal. That's just who you are. Same thing I like to give my clients. We talked about this in the Glow Up membership. When, let's say, for example, you want to change your physical appearance and you want to become more fit. I'm sharing this example because it has been something that's been quite easy for me to manifest, because I have just always been a person who loves to work out. I'm an Aries moon, so I have a lot of like passionate energy, and I like working out is my therapy. I just love to get that excess fire out when working out, and being someone who is fit has always been such a huge part of my identity. It is just who I am, and I talk about identity work all the time. I talk about self-concept all the time, because it is one of the, I like to go to the very building blocks of reality. And the first building block to that is obviously spirit, is the invisible realms. And right after that, guess what comes after that? Is your identity. And from your identity, everything else will trickle down, like your thoughts, your behaviors, and your actions. So you want to go straight to the top. You want to go straight to the energetic, to the soul level, and to your identity. Who are you? To me, I'm just a person who is fit. That is such a big part of my identity, right? And so from there, my actions will be that I work out 4 times a week, that I have a fit body. That is just such a part of my identity. I can't even imagine myself being someone, like, it doesn't even cross my mind, oh, what if like in 2 years I will not be fit anymore? Like, no, because it's such a huge part of who I am, right? So when it comes to manifesting your dream life, you want to go with being more than doing. What does that mean? What's your self-concept? What's the identity? What's the identity of someone that is successful? Like, how would you think? How would you act? Really become that person. You have to become it before you see it in your outer reality. So your focus shouldn't actually be on the manifestation itself. Your focus should be on embodying the feeling of having it already. Let me say that again. Your focus should not be on the manifestation, on the end goal. Your focus should be on how would I feel if it were already here. My last one is probably my favorite hack to sort of brainwash myself, but not many people do it because they don't have the discipline and the diligence to do it. And that is impressing your subconscious mind with your desires. Because guess what? Your subconscious mind has one job only. And that is to prove to your outer reality, to prove in your physical reality what is implanted in your subconscious mind. So it makes sense then to impress your subconscious mind with exactly the things that you want to see in your outer reality. So how do we impress our subconscious mind? Is by literally brainwashing yourself. And this is exactly why I do not watch mainstream movies. This is why I do not watch the news, because believe it or not, the music industry, the media, the TV. What's television? Vision. Think about it. When you are in front of the screen, you are literally in a trance-like state. You are in alpha brainwaves, which are more impressionable. You are in a state where you're highly impressionable. And I kid you not, guys, it has happened to me more than once where I was watching a TV show and I got so invested in the TV show that it literally manifested in my life. I kid you not. It literally like the exact same story, the person looked the exact same way, it manifested in my life. And I know this is kind of like a woo-woo theory, but I'm speaking from experience here. Some people may be less impressionable than others. I'm a quad right in human design. I am very impressionable, which is a positive thing because manifestation methods and hypnosis and all of these subliminals, all of these things work really easily on me. But also I have to be very careful who I surround myself with, what I let into my spirit. So what you want to do is you can brainwash yourself for success. And the way I like to do this, my favorite method, is to right before you fall asleep, you want to visualize, like put on some headphones. I usually put on some inspiring music, and I just let myself live in my dream life. Like if you were to imagine yourself holding a glass of champagne, if you close your eyes, you can smell the champagne right now. You can touch the stem of the glass right now. You know what that feels like in your hand. This is how I manifested a lot of vacations and a lot of travel, because I will literally put my feet in the sand. I will feel the seawater, like I will feel the waves crashing on my ankles. I will just really get into that state where I am there right now. And I have manifested so many things that way. But be careful, because your subconscious mind is extremely literal. I have a friend who used this to manifest $10,000. And in his mind before bed, he was counting the $10,000 bills, right? He was just counting them before going to sleep. And he ended up at the bank, and there was this elderly man who was counting his bills, and he was an elderly man, and he asked my friend for help to count his bills. And sure enough, it was $10,000. So that was a great learning lesson for him, because he learned that, okay, I was just counting the bills. I did not imply the feeling of these are mine, like this, I made that money, right? So you want to be very, very specific and intentional with this. If you don't like to go into the nitty-gritty details, just feel what it would feel like to be so in love with your life, to be so relieved that everything has worked out for you, to be so freaking lit up and so energized and so excited about your life and so passionate, and just feel what it feels like to be wealthy, to be successful, to finally have manifested everything that you've ever wanted. And do this every single night before you fall asleep. I can promise you, your life will absolutely change in a matter of months. This is what happened for me. This is how I manifested so many things into my life, from my dream home, my dream career, my dream business, my dream car, relationships, like all of it, travel, everything, right? And the last one, which I probably should have put first, is be very clear on what you want. If you don't know where you're going, how do you expect to land in your dream reality when you don't know where that is? It just doesn't make sense. When you use the GPS, you go from place A to B. You need to put in a destination. What is your destination? Where are you going? Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. What are you doing to manifest your dream life in 2025? And share this with someone who needs to hear it. It helps the channel grow and it helps me in turn make more videos for you guys. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Wealth is a frequency. Love is a frequency, but it's about getting on that frequency. Change the station, tune into the radio station that is transmitting wealth, because you can't be on a radio station of poverty and attract wealth. It is just not possible. If you understand and apply these principles I'm about to share with you, nothing will be out of your reach. You'll be able to pull your wildest desires into your reality just like that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, my loves, I wanted to do another video on how to actually pull in the things that you desire into your reality. I see so much conflicting information on the internet, and I just wanted to keep it simple with you guys and actually share the things that actually work. I'm about to share with you the no fluff, high level stuff that actually works, so keep on watching. First of all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell right next to it so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Comment down below, let me know where you are from. I love hearing where you guys are from. If you want to be part of a high vibe, like-minded community where you are being cracked open to receiving your wildest desires, where we get rid of all resistance, that would be my membership Limitless. We have a monthly masterclass, we have live manifestation ceremonies, live group coaching calls, meditations in there. Everything is exclusive to the membership, so you won't find this anywhere else. And it's my baby. It's so transformative. It is so potent. I just love it so much, so I'll link that down below. And let's get into this video. Okay, so one thing that I see people struggling with, I keep seeing these comments of like, I tried so hard, but it's still not here. What am I doing wrong? I did this video, I listened to this subliminal, and it's still not here. I just want it so badly and it still hasn't come. What am I doing wrong? What you're doing wrong is you're looking in your outer circumstances to see if it has appeared. And just by doing that, you're broadcasting the signal that it's not here yet. So stop checking. The minute that you're like, oh my God, I really need this, that's not desire, that's actually lack. When you're in the energy of lack, what are you gonna get? You're just gonna get more lack, versus being in the energy of like, oh, I would really like to eat some lobster right now. Like, that would taste so good. When you think of eating lobster, you're not gonna be like, oh my God, I wish I had this lobster, but I don't have it. I feel so bad, it's not here yet. You're like, no, I want some lobster. My mouth is watering. This feels so good. Let's go have some lobster. If you eat an apple and you've eaten the apple and the apple isn't there anymore, you haven't lost the apple. You haven't lost anything. Nothing went from you. You've actually consumed it. You've enjoyed it. And the same goes with spending money. You're not losing anything by spending money. You're actually gaining something, because you're gaining something in exchange that is ultimately so valuable for you. So it's just about having a different perspective and being on the frequency of receiving versus being on the frequency of it's not here yet, I need it, I don't know what to do, it's been so long, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong, except you asking yourself what is wrong with you is what's wrong. It actually is so simple, and sometimes we are our own worst enemies, and it's just about getting out of the way. A lot of manifestation is just getting out of your own way, getting rid of everything in your field that is actually blocking you from having what it is that you want. This could be thought forms, this could be projections of other people. If you have very limiting people around you, that can impact you, right? It could be past trauma, it could be even past lifetime trauma, like just things that are in your field, in your vibration, that just need to be shifted and cleared so that your channel is free to receive, right? If I were to erase your memory and you just had the now moment, all you could do is create from the now, not based on your past fears, not based on your experiences of this person treated me wrong, that person hurt me, so I can't open myself back up to love, or it's always been like that, I've always struggled with money, or oh my god, I made this much money this month, I made 50, 100k, 200k, a million a month, how am I ever gonna like reproduce that type of money? No. Stay open, because you're closing. The minute that you think those thoughts, you're closing. And I just want to say, it's not about not having those thoughts, because those thoughts will always show up. I don't care what level you're at. If you're just beginning, if you are a seasoned manifester, or if you're like a high level expert, like I can tell you that the biggest experts, like we all have these thoughts, because your brain is just a survival mechanism. It is always trying to keep you safe, so it's always calculating the worst case scenario to keep you in survival mode. That is literally the brain's job. Your brain's job is not for you to thrive. That's your mind's job. Your brain is there to keep you safe, right? It's very reptilian and archaic. So your job is to observe the thoughts and to know that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Stop identifying with your thoughts. When those feelings and thoughts and anxiety comes up, notice it, sit with it, don't run from it, because when you're trying to resist the resistance, it's just going to get bigger. Like it's just going to snowball and you're not going to feel good. Instead, just notice what's coming up. Notice what you're feeling. Observe it, feel it in your body, and move through it. Let it move through you. Don't fear it, just let it move through you. It will only last a second. I know it feels vulnerable and icky, but it will be gone after, and then you will feel clear. So it's about clearing the stuff that comes up, the stories that we tell ourselves as to why we can't have what we want, or why things are the way they are, and that's because like it's always been that way for me, and Lisa, you don't know, like my situation is the worst, like I am homeless. Like I don't care. I know people that have slept in their car that are multimillionaires today. Like no circumstance is too bad for you to flip your life around. I just wanted to share that. And it's about training your nervous system, observing your thoughts and being like, yes, I see you, I get you, I understand you. It's normal to have your fears. I love you, but I won't listen to you, right? And then embodying from that point, when you've cleared your shit, embodying the frequency that you want to live on. Because honestly, I used to get mad at people when they said that money, I love to talk about money because it's so tangible, right? Because you can see results very fast with money, and it's just such an interesting topic. And to me, money is actually a pathway to higher consciousness. But it's cat day apparently. What was I gonna say? Money really is energy. When you understand that money responds to your frequency, wealth responds to your frequency. Wealth is a frequency. Love is a frequency, but it's about getting on that frequency. Change the station, tune into the radio station that is transmitting wealth, because you can't be on a radio station of poverty and attract wealth. It is just not possible. You're not receiving and broadcasting the same signal, right? It's like me speaking to you in Chinese, but you're French, and I expect you to understand me, and I'm like, why don't you understand me? I am telling you all the things. Well, honey, you're not on the right frequency. We're not speaking the same language here, because the language of the universe is frequency. That is all the universe understands. It just understands frequency. It just understands embodiment, what you vibrate. And you cannot attract abundance, wealth, all your desires, a happy life. Because it's not just about money, but also being happy and fulfilled and living the life that you want to live. Because if you're making all the millions in the world, but you're unhappy and you're a slave to your work, well, good luck with that. Anyway, those were my 2 cents today. I have no idea what I'm going to call this video. Sometimes I just channel information and it just comes through me. So, yeah, we create from the now moment. Get on the frequency, broadcast that frequency, be on that frequency, and be open to receiving. Open yourself up. Be willing to be vulnerable. It's uncomfortable to open up when you don't have the results yet, when the person hasn't joined your program yet, when you've just launched and no one has bought yet, when your lover doesn't text back. That's when you open and you're like, nope, I'm staying open, I'm receiving, I'm here. I'm receiving, I'm letting it in, I'm not closing off. It's about not closing off. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will talk to you soon. Do not listen to another subliminal until you have watched this video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything about subliminals, how they work, how they impress the subconscious mind, do they work, how to best use them, when to use them, how much to use them. And I'm also going to be sharing with you the science behind subliminals, because believe it or not, the government actually researched this over 40 years ago, okay? So without further ado, let's get into the video. First of all, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button right now and the bell right next to it. So in our community, we have had amazing results with my subliminals, from completely changing their lives, being so happy with their lives, making more money than they ever have before, manifesting their dream life, their dream physical appearance, and just being happy and fulfilled, because this is the ultimate goal, right? Why do we want to manifest? Like deep down, we all want certain things. You don't want a new home just to want a new home. You want it because you believe that it will give you more happiness. This is deep down what we all desire: more happiness and more fulfillment. And so we have had thousands of messages from you guys from all around the world, of receiving just so many blessings from my subliminals. If you don't know what subliminals are, they are subaudible messages that the conscious mind cannot hear. So basically they are affirmations recorded at a very low volume level, where only your subconscious mind actually picks up on the affirmations. And the good thing about this is that at beta stage, when we are in a beta brainwave state, which is our waking brainwave state, when we are focused, when we are doing things, the conscious mind acts as a filter as to what gets put into the subconscious mind. If you are, for example, trying to manifest more money, and I were to tell you, you are rich, you're going to be like, no, Lisa, I am not yet rich. And so your conscious mind will block that. It's not going to go into your subconscious mind. So what is amazing with subliminals is that because they are subaudible affirmations, they go straight to your subconscious mind, okay? Which is why I always say, be very careful who you listen to. Go to a person that you trust, or create your own subliminals. And so there's actually a lot of science behind the subliminals, and I'm going to go into that in a minute in the video. There have been studies made on actual prison inmates who were given subliminal audios to help with their depression, to help think more positively and in a more peaceful manner. And it was scientifically proven that when they listened to the subliminal, their thinking became a lot clearer, a lot more positive, and their depression went away. So how do subliminals actually work? They work on so many different levels. There are different types of subliminals. Let's start with the subliminal that, for example, helps you think more positive, helps work on your self-concept. Those are my favorite ones, because as we know, if you are on this channel, you know that our outer reality is just a mirror of our subconscious mind. Right? And a lot of people try manifestation, and they do these affirmations, and they do the vision boards and the visualizations, and it still doesn't work for them. And so This is not because affirmations and vision boards and visualization don't work. It is because you have to get your subconscious mind on board. Our subconscious mind rules 95% of our reality. Okay, so it is crucial to reprogram our subconscious mind. And what you are basically doing when you're listening to subliminals, you are creating new neural pathways. Your thinking patterns will change, and as those patterns will change, you are literally, this is called neuroplasticity, it is science, you are creating these new synapses in your brain, in your neurons, and your brain's going to fire off in a whole different manner. You're going to think more positively, you are going to be in a better mood, you're going to be less depressed, you're going to have less anxiety. So that's one way that they work. Another way that they work is, let's say you are listening to a subliminal that helps you change your physical appearance. As we all know, everything in this reality is frequency. The CIA has researched this. I'm going to share this in a minute, but an example I can give you is the works of Masaru Emoto, who was a Japanese scientist. He is not with us anymore, but he has left such a plethora of amazing research where he would expose water molecules to positive affirmations like love and peace and I love you, and those would form the most amazing crystal forms like snowflakes, sacred geometry. And then he would also expose the water to hate messages or just like heavy metal music, and there was no, it just looked like goop. There was no sacred geometry, there were no beautiful patterns. And so what is our body made up of? Our bodies are made up of 70%, if not 75% of water, right? So we are water. We are made up of molecules of water, and the way you speak to yourself actually shapes your physical form. Words shape matter. Sound shapes matter. So those subliminal audios will literally rearrange your atoms and change your atoms over time. But you have to give it time. Don't listen to it once and be like, oh, this didn't work, like I'm just gonna give up. So I'm gonna get really woo-woo and nerdy here with you, which it's actually not woo-woo because it's actual science. I'm going to read you on my very old vintage. I have like 2 phones. I love my very old iPhone 8. So the CIA actually researched the nature of matter and of consciousness and how this physical reality operates. And so you're gonna see how this ties into subliminals. Let's put our blue light glasses on. The first point which needs to be made is that the two terms matter and energy tend to be misleading if taken to indicate two distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it. Indeed, if the term matter is taken to mean solid substance as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort, then the use of the former is entirely misleading. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. Guys, this was in the 80s. Can you imagine what they know now if they knew this in the 80s? Solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Rather, atomic structure is composed of oscillating energy grids surrounded by other oscillating energy grids which orbit at extraordinarily high speeds. It then goes on to say the point to be made is that the entire human being, brain, consciousness, and all is, like the universe which surrounds him, nothing more or less than an extraordinarily complex system of energy fields. The so-called states of matter are actually variances in the state of energy, and human consciousness is a function of the interaction of energy in two opposite states, motion versus rest, in a manner described in the following paragraph. In other words, physical matter does not exist. Everything oscillates at a certain frequency, right? The chair that I'm sitting on, this camera that I'm filming on, the phone or a computer that you are watching on. If you were to take all the solid matter in the universe and put it into like just all the atoms combined together, the only solid matter that you would get would be the size of a pea. This means that we can change by changing our frequency, and by listening to subliminals, we can change our physical structure of either whether it's our thought patterns or our physical appearance. And they have even proved this with people who have had multiple personality disorders. When they flipped and switched to a different personality, molds would appear or disappear, their eye color would change, like literal physical features would change. Another example that I love to share, and I've shared in my previous videos before, is that yogis that lived in the Himalayas, that, you know, meditated their entire lives, lived in a cave. There was one yogi who was actually able to, I'm sure there were more, but there's one example of a yogi that was able to really mold physical matter. And he has in his cave, there's a hand imprinted of this yogi, because he knew that physical matter is not real. It's not in the way that we perceive it as. It's not solid, you know, even though we perceive it in our day-to-day life as solid. So he was able to imprint his hand in the cave, which is just amazing. Can you imagine to touch a wall and just like imprint your hand in there? I'd like to believe that, you know, with evolution of human consciousness and advancement, we will get there one day. When, I have no idea. I think we'll need some time to get there. I'd like to believe it's going to be sooner than later, but given the state of the world and the fact that we can't even still have a peaceful existence among nations, you know, it tells me a lot about the state of consciousness of people who rule this planet. Point being made is that the way that you look is not set in stone. Our bodies are so adaptable. This is even called the field of epigenetics, the fact that we can change our DNA at the molecular, atomical structure. If you want to change your eye color, I have never tried it, but if you want to change your eye color, you can do that with subliminals. I invite you to do it. And you know, these concepts of the subconscious mind are nothing new. They are ancient. They are actually in the Bible. I always have to laugh when people say like, manifestation is evil. I have to laugh at this because to those people, I'd like to say, have you ever read a Bible and read it with your spirit? It literally says in the Bible that whatever you plant in your subconscious mind, it grows like a seed and it reflects back into your reality. It's like a seed that you plant in there and then it grows, but you have to water the seed, of course. Now that we got the science out of the way, I want to go into some best practices of how you can use subliminals. The first thing I'd like to address is a lot of people tell me, you know, I get nightmares after listening to this. And I want to say this is completely normal and actually a good thing. Now, there's nuance to this, because if you are listening to a subliminal and you start to feel not good, like just not a good vibe, stop listening to it. Like, this is your intuition telling you that this is not for you. Who knows what is in there? I like to believe that most subliminals are positive, but you never know. This is the internet. People are crazy. So the second one is, if you are listening to a subliminal and you start to have nightmares, this is if you are clearing out old subconscious patterns and doing shadow work, it comes up to the surface at first, right? If you start to clean a surface, in the middle of cleaning, it looks more messy than before you started to clean it. So this is just a process of eliminating and having things come to the surface. I have had a lot of people cry after listening to my subconscious wax remover subliminal, including me, because it's just like stuff coming to the surface to be released and having realizations. So don't worry if you're getting nightmares. I know it's not a comfortable symptom to have, but it means that it's working. I always have to laugh when people come to my subliminals and they're like, I can't hear anything. Yeah, like, it is a subliminal. You're not supposed to hear anything. If you hear the affirmations, it's an affirmation video. It's not a subliminal. And one thing I like to share is that you can get results with subliminals after one listen. There's been people who listen to my subliminals that have gotten immediate results. You can listen to a money subliminal, you know, an hour later you get wired some money literally out of nowhere. That is the results that can happen instantly. However, to really, so they both work instantly and long term. Instantly is just like a isolated manifestation. If you want them to work long term, I recommend to listen to them at least 21 days to really solidify those new neural pathways in your brain so that you manifest on autopilot. This is the way I see manifestation. It's completely rewiring your subconscious mind, which we do in all of my programs and all my private containers. We go really deep because it isn't until you really understand the subconscious mind and how it works that you can manifest lasting change and not just an isolated incident here and there. You also want to listen to 1 to 3 subliminals max at a time. Don't overwhelm your subconscious mind. I mean, if you want to, go for it, but it's not that it doesn't work. It's just it works best if you focus on one thing at a time. I know it can be very tempting to listen to many. I'd say 1 to 3. Like you can listen to 3, even 4, but don't like listen to like 50 different subliminals and just one after the other. It's just a completely different thing. Also, your intention and your beliefs are super, super powerful. If you listen to a subliminal and you're like, if you have this deep-rooted belief that subliminals don't work for you, you are a sovereign being. That is going to be your reality. So work on your belief. Like if they haven't worked for you, work on your belief at first. Work on being open to the subliminals actually working for you. So I highly invite you to do the 30-day meditation challenge with me. I have playlists. I'm going to link them down below. Use the overnight subliminals. They work super, super well because at night you're in delta brainwave, and so your subconscious is like wide open. Kids are mostly in theta and delta brainwaves, which is why they are so highly programmable up until the age of 7. And if you want to go further and you really want to get yourself in a room with powerful women, because as we all know, we are the sum of the 5 people we hang out the most with, and mentorship is honestly the thing that has completely changed my life. Like, yes, you can do it alone. You can absolutely go on this manifestation journey alone, like I did. I discovered manifestation in 2006. I was 16 back in the day, but there was a lot of trial and error with this. What if you had someone who can actually teach you and give you all the shortcuts so that you can get there even faster and collapse time and space? So if that's something you want to do, I highly invite you into Limitless. We currently have 50% off for anyone who wants to join us annual. People that come into my world are like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know I needed this until I went through it. So we do somatic experiencing, breath work, nervous system work, but I go very deep into the energetics, and we go really woo-woo in my private containers, collapsing time and space, opening, what are the energetics behind making more money? What are the energetics behind having a quantum leap? No longer going with what makes sense, no longer going with what is rational, no longer going with, okay, this is what I've been taught, this is how it should be done. No, if this speaks to you, you can join us down below. My private containers is not for everyone. However, it is for those who are ready for bigger, for more. People are going to ask you how you did it. We wonder how we'll ever do it until we wonder how we did it. My favorite quote by my mentor, Millionaire. So I got really passionate here. I love you guys so, so much, and I will talk to you very soon. It is so easy. You literally just need to get on the frequency of your desires and it will manifest. A lot of the things that I manifested, I actually didn't believe that they could be possible for me. Your subconscious mind doesn't have eyes to see. It doesn't have ears to hear. Like, it just knows what you tell it. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. So today is a highly controversial topic, and that is that You do not need to believe in order to have your manifestation. So I'm going to share with you how this exactly works and how a lot of the things that I manifested, I actually didn't believe that they could be possible for me. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell right next to it so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Give this video a thumbs up. It helps me a lot. It helps more people find this channel and help them improve their lives. Also, comment down below where you are from. I truly love to hear where you guys are from. So one thing I wanted to touch on is this teaching that you have to believe it like 200% in order to manifest it, which is true and not true. You have to have faith that it is going to happen. You have to have faith that your manifestation, what you want, is out there. Like, you have to know that you are supported, but you don't have to like 100% believe that it's going to happen, because a lot of the times when you do end up having that quantum leap, it's going to be actually bigger than what you thought it was going to be. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to be like, how the hell did this happen? If you look back at your manifestations, probably a lot of your manifestations didn't really happen in the way that you thought they would happen, and they probably came about in the most what's the word again? I'm looking for a word. In the most serendipitous way. That was the word that I was looking for. And in truth, like, a lot of the manifestations that I have had happen, like, if you would have told me just a week before it has happened, I would have never believed you that this could happen. Like, I truly didn't. Like, I manifested the most insane things. Let's say, for example, like, my channel at one point grew like in a matter of only 4 weeks. Like, I grew like 100,000 subscribers, which now it happens a lot, like on TikTok and platforms like that. But back in the day, this was like 7 years ago. This was unheard of, right? And so I never thought that could happen, right? I had my goal in mind, but then I actually doubled what, like, I wanted to reach 100,000 subscribers. Once I reached that 100,000 subscribers, I grew to 200K in like 28 days later. So that is just an example of how you don't have to believe that things need to happen for you. You really don't. The law of assumption is actually so simple that people forget about it. It is so easy. You literally just need to get on the frequency of your desires and it will manifest. From a quantum physics point of view, your intention is what puts the electrical impulse, right? We're all electromagnetic beings. What does that mean? An electric charge is a positive charge that goes out into the universe. That's your intention, your thought. Like, I want a bigger house. I want to manifest my dream house. That's the intention. But an intention needs to be combined with the magnetic frequency. So what's the magnetic frequency? How do we become magnetic? We become magnetic by tapping into the feeling of our wish already being fulfilled. Meaning that when we are in these feelings of, oh my God, it has already happened, you're literally teaching your body, like, your subconscious mind doesn't have eyes to see. It doesn't have ears to hear. Like, it just knows what you tell it. So if you tell it, if you make believe that you already have it, just like kids, then your subconscious mind, your body will be like, oh yeah, this has already happened. And since your subconscious rules 95% of your reality, it will pull it into your reality without you having to do any effort. That's another misconception, that we have to take so much action. No, you do not need to do anything to have your manifestation come into your life. I once manifested a guy, like exactly the exact guy that I wanted, without even really trying to. I just had a specific type of person in mind, and that person came into my life and was exactly like a copy of that person that I wanted to come into my life, without wanting to get into too much detail. But this is how specific things can be. And I did not take any action. This person literally just like fell into my lap, okay? So that's an example. You don't have to believe it. Like, get that out of your mind. You really don't have to believe in order for things to happen for you. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Let me know down below what you're manifesting next. Let's do a scripting game. Script 3 things down below as if they have already happened for you, and come back to this video once it did happen. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. And the fact that the CIA was researching this shows how real and how serious manifestation actually is. I was baffled at some of the details that are found in this document and how much in depth it goes into manifestation and how it actually works. Hello my loves, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to get really serious and talk about how the government and the CIA researched the science of manifestation in consciousness 40 years ago. In 1983, the CIA did a classified project that would research consciousness, the nature of reality, and how manifestation works, and called it the Gateway Process. It was researched by the Monroe Institute, which is taught still to this day. This classified project was made declassified 20 years ago in 2003, and here is what they have to say about manifestation. I was baffled at some of the details that are found in this document and how much in depth it goes into manifestation and how it actually works. As a science nerd, I love learning about the science of manifestation. Manifestation to this day is still seen by the majority of the public as, you know, something that's a little funny. You know, some people will say, oh, I'm gonna manifest it, but they say it in like a funny way. People don't really take you seriously when you talk about manifestation. I'm talking about most of humanity, not the people in our community, because if you're watching this video, you are a seasoned manifester. Actually, last year I was talking to someone who had actually never heard of the law of attraction. Never heard of it, didn't know what it was. So there are still a lot of people that are completely in the dark as to how manifestation works. And the fact that the CIA was researching this shows how real and how serious manifestation actually is. Because if it were just a woo-woo thing and, oh yeah, I'm just gonna create a vision board and live in my fairy tale world, why would they research it, right? And back in the day, they were scared that the Soviets were going to make too many advances, scientifically speaking, in the term of remote viewing consciousness. I believe they wanted to catch up on the Russians' work, because the Russians actually are really, really advanced when it comes to such things of the non-physical realm and consciousness. They've done a lot of research. I always talk about the research of pyramids that the Russians did. I have a pyramid in my home, and all my neighbors ask me why my lemons are so big. They are so big because of my pyramid. But of course, I do not tell that to anyone. My pyramid is secret or only shared with the select few that I can trust. At this point, I don't really care if I'm perceived as crazy by the majority of the public, because this is science. So I wanted to read, I'm going to put on my blue light glasses. I wanted to read this excerpt of Patterning of the Gateway Process, because I feel like it absolutely changed the game. So a few weeks ago, I did a video on subliminals, and on that video, I was talking about the gateway process, and I read a little bit about the nature of consciousness and that we live in a simulation, and that nothing in this reality is physically set. That was how I was explaining that subliminals can work physically speaking, because nothing rests. This is the law of vibration. Everything always moves. Nothing at the subatomic level. Nothing is still. Everything is empty space. If you would shrink all the solid matter of the universe together, what's actually solid in the atom, you could shrink it into a pea-sized. That is all the matter in the universe. Everything else is empty space. So when we connect to empty space, that's how we can manifest. And you guys absolutely loved that video. I'm gonna link it right here. And so I wanted to dive deeper, specific on this topic of manifestation. And so on page Page 22 or 23 of the gateway process, they talk about this technique called patterning. Now, the gateway process says this technique involves use of the consciousness to achieve desired objectives in the physical, emotional, or intellectual sphere. It involves concentration on the desired objective while in a focus 12 state. Those focus states are based on the HemiSync tapes that the Monroe Institute developed to achieve brain cohesion and tap into higher realms of consciousness. It involves concentration on the desired objective while in a focus 12 state, extension of the individual's perception of that objective into the whole expanded consciousness, and its projection into the universe with the intention that the desired objective is already a matter of established achievement, which is destined to be realized within the time frame specified. In other words, feel that you already have it, and you will. This particular methodology is based on the belief that the thought patterns generated by our consciousness in a state of expanded awareness create holograms, which represent the situation we desire to bring about, and in so doing, establish the basis for actual realization of that goal. So basically, it talks about the holographic nature of reality, and that you can project whatever you want to create outwards, and that actually in the invisible realms creates a hologram. Isn't that crazy? But it gets even better. Once the thought-generated hologram of the sought-after objective is established in the universe, it becomes an aspect of reality which interacts with the universal hologram to bring about the desired objective, which might not, under other circumstances, ever occur. In other words, the technique of patterning recognizes the fact that since consciousness is the source of all reality, our thoughts have the power to influence the development of reality in time-space as it applies to us if those thoughts can be projected with adequate intensity. Feeling is the key. However, the more complicated, and this is key, this is crucial. However, the more complicated the objective sought and the more radically it departs from our current reality, the more time the universal hologram will need to reorient our reality sphere to accommodate our desires. This would explain why some of the bigger things that we try to manifest take more time. Now, is it possible to manifest rapidly? Absolutely. But here's what the Monroe Institute and the Gateway process and the CIA have to say about forcing manifestation. And this is huge because I see so many people saying that you can have anything at any time of the day. I don't believe that that is true, and I think that people who share that and teach that lack wisdom and are completely ego-based. Monroe trainers caution against attempting to force the pace of this process because the individual could succeed in dislocating his existing reality with drastic consequences. In other words, the example I like to give is, let's say you are pregnant, and we all know that a baby takes 9 months to come into this physical reality. Imagine you would tell yourself, oh, believing that is just a limiting belief. I'm gonna manifest my baby to be here in 3 months. Drastic consequences, you guys. That baby will not survive if it is born at 3 months. Everything has its appointed time, and again, I'm gonna share this again. However, the more complicated the objective sought and the more radically it departs from our current reality, the further your goal is away from your current reality, the more time the universal hologram will need to reorient our reality sphere to accommodate our desires. But it will still happen. So that is where detachment comes in. So I believe the Monroe Institute did a fascinating job at explaining the nature of consciousness, reality, and manifestation. And I personally loved reading about the gateway experience and how it ties into manifestation. Everything in this reality, everything in this universe is conscious. The universe itself is self-aware and is subconscious. I have personally tried the Hemi-sync tapes. Now it's very hard to not fall asleep listening to these tapes, but I've had some very profound experiences trying these Hemi-sync tapes. It definitely does work, and I may even try out their entire program in the future if I have the time to do it. Who knows? So let me know in the comments down below, what was your biggest takeaway from this video. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Our conscious mind only rules 5%. We think we control everything and we know everything with our conscious minds, but it's actually only, our conscious mind only controls about 5% of our reality, okay? So our subconscious mind is where it's at. You want to get deep into the subconscious if you want lasting results. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I had an idea to do a manifestation challenge. I personally do my own manifestation challenges literally every single month, and I was like, why am I not telling you guys about this? Why am I not sharing this? Why should we not do this together? So today I have a really fun and exciting video for you guys, a manifestation challenge that will literally shift everything for you. When I did this, my entire life, like my entire reality shifted, like everything just shifted for me. So before we get into the video, if you desire private coaching with me, the link to that is down below, as well as my limitless community where we do all things manifestations. The members in there just got the most insane and fast, crazy results. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about being, I'm not saying this just like for my containers, right? It's because I'm in containers too. Like I invest in myself all the time and in programs. And I don't know what it is about the energy of like a coaching container, like let's say private coaching, or let's say a course, or let's say just a membership, like my limitless membership. Getting inside, just by being in that energy, things already start to shift. Maybe you haven't even taken the course and things already started changing for you. That's happened a lot for my students, and as well for me in the past when I would invest in myself, because it's like you're doing the thing, you're showing the universe that you're ready, you're ready for this transformation. And that's all sometimes you need. It is super, super powerful to be in a container together, whether that is my container, someone else's. Today I wanted to share a manifestation challenge. I'll also be doing a workshop on lasting results versus surface level manifestation. I see that a lot in the manifestation community these days, just like only surface level manifestation, and that's really something I want to address and talk about and teach you guys how you can have lasting results. Can you tell I am a quarter Italian because all I do is this? And let's get into the manifestation challenge. And this is going to be a super short video, but basically the manifestation challenge is the perfect life. I kind of want to call it perfect life syndrome because we've seen the lucky girl syndrome everywhere. Like I've seen that everywhere. So I did want to make a video just on like something that everybody has already shared. So, and also one thing this is actually something that I have experimented myself with. I would never teach something that I didn't live or experience myself. Like everything that I teach, I have gotten results from, and fast results and amazing results from. So I would never just like regurgitate something because someone else, it has worked for someone else, you know? I can only speak from my experience. So the affirmation that I used, which shifted literally everything for me, and I will be sharing these things at some point on my channel, but the affirmation that has shifted everything for me is my life is perfect. It is so simple, yet it creates the biggest shifts. So that's why I wanted to call it Perfect Life Syndrome Challenge, or My Life is Perfect Challenge. I'm not really sure what the title will be of this video, but just telling yourself every single day, my life is so perfect. I have the freaking best life. Like my life is perfect. My life is absolutely perfect. It is just so perfect. I have the most amazing life. If you're in a relationship, you can say, we're so happy. Our relationship is so perfect. Everything about my life, I can't believe this is my life. My life is so freaking perfect. And just sharing this with you, telling this to yourself, sharing this with yourself all the time, every single day. So this challenge is going to be a 30-day challenge, okay? Because we do, sometimes some people see results after one day. Usually results happen very fast, but to have it like really ingrained in your subconscious mind, it takes about 21 days, okay? And we all know that the subconscious mind rules 95% of our reality. Our conscious mind only rules 5%. We think we control everything and we know everything with our conscious minds, but it's actually only, our conscious mind only controls about 5% of our reality, okay? So our subconscious mind is where it's at. You want to get deep into the subconscious if you want lasting results, okay? And I'm going to talk about lasting results versus surface level manifestation is amazing and it works. It's like manifesting a parking spot, manifesting $500 here and there, manifesting a date, or like things like that. It's like surface level. It's not going to change your life. You know what I mean? It's amazing, it works, but it's not going to give you lasting, life-changing, fuck, I'm living my dream life, that kind of results, okay? So my life is perfect challenge. Just tell yourself every single day, my life is perfect. This is so perfect. My reality, I literally have everything I've ever desired. I have everything I've ever dreamed of. My reality is perfect. I literally am the person that has it all. That, I love that one because that's like self-concept. I am the person who has it all. Like, she has it all. I'm her. Or him. I am the person that has it all. So we're going to be doing this challenge for 30 days from when this video is posted, and share with me your results in the comments down below. Also, we're going to start this now, and I kind of like the fact that we're all doing this together. But if you tap into this video, I don't know, a year from now or later, like, because, you know, maybe you're watching this in the future, you can absolutely do this for 30 days and report back to me. And most of you will see results not in 30 days, but like in 3 days, in 7 days. And trust me, I promise you, if you do this, if you stick to it, if you tell yourself every single day, all the time, I'm not saying just do it 5 minutes a day. I'm saying do it all the time. Like when you're in the bathroom, when you're in the shower, when you're doing dishes, when you're driving your car, when you're falling asleep. My life is so perfect. My life is so amazing. And you don't have to say it out loud. You can just say it in your head. Everything in my reality is perfect. I have it all. I am the woman, the man who has it all. My reality is just perfect. I am so excited to hear about your results, and I will see you guys in another video.